there is a lot of scope for development in this sector, and with a lot of order spending, the future looks very bright for the next 5 to 10 years. It's gonna be booming. As such, there are no like major challenges, but sometimes you tend to miss on the events, the major events. Like if suppose there's a festival or a family function, and if you don't get leave, then you may miss that event.
What do you think the future of aviation looks like?
The future of aviation is very bright, but time will let us know how bright it is. Because right now, if you see, there are a lot of airlines in India who are expanding. There are a lot of upcoming new airports which are under construction in India, and the middle class are preferring to fly by air. So there is a lot of scope for development in this sector, and with a lot of order spending, the future looks very bright for the next 5 to 10 years. It's gonna be booming.
What has been your most memorable flight experience as a pilot?
As a pilot, the most memorable experience would be my first solo when I'm flying the plane by myself, doing the first landing by myself without the help of anyone. So that is the most memorable flight, I would say. So that I did in the airport named Titusville, where I did my first landing by myself. So that is a memorable incident, and for each and every pilot, that would be a memorable incident. And I also remember the plane. It's November 5 to 7 November Delta. So that's the plane which I flew first time for a solo, and I did landing by myself. So yeah, that was a memorable flight. I do remember the date. It was 8th of May 2019. So yeah, so that was my first solo. Yeah.
How do you handle the pressure of being responsible for the lives of passengers during a flight?
See, as a pilot, the whole aircraft is your responsibility. So the moment you start the engines until you turn off the engines, it's your responsibility. So other than flying, one should not be thinking anything apart from flying. So even there is a quote on the cockpit door: when you enter the cockpit, leave your worries behind this door. So once you are in the cockpit, you just fly. You don't think about anything. Once you're out of the cockpit, you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of physical and mental preparations do you need to do before a flight?
Physical, you should be well rested for at least 8 hours so that you can function properly. Mentally, you should be able to, I would say, be calm and composed when you're flying, not think about anything other than flying. That should be it, yeah.
How do you stay up to date with the latest technology and advancements in the aviation industry?
So there are many resources which are available for pilots to stay up to date. And if there is an update, the airline will issue us some notice or some courses for the updation or whatever is the update.
How important is teamwork in the cockpit?
It is very important because every time you are flying with a different pilot, so different crew. So teamwork is really the most important thing, I would say, because the decision which you are making should be same for both the pilots. So teamwork plays a very important role in pilot.
What is the role of a co-pilot during a flight?
So actually, the co-pilot. So there is pilot flying and there is pilot monitoring. So anyone can be the pilot flying and anyone can be the pilot monitoring. So the pilot flying will fly the plane, and the pilot monitoring will monitor the instruments and monitor each and every parameter of the aircraft is safe. So that's what the role of two pilots are. So the co-pilot just doesn't sit there and rest, but he also looks at the parameters and see if anything is abnormal.
How do you manage your work-life balance as a pilot?
So, as a pilot, it's not a 9 to 5 job. So, you would have flights randomly during the day or even at night. So, work life is pretty much balanced. So, in a week, you get around 2 days off, but it won't be at your home, so you can be on a layover as well. So that would be a mini vacation for you. But yes, work life is pretty much balanced. The sometimes if the flying is more, then you get less time for yourself, but otherwise it's pretty much good.
What are the challenges of working as a pilot for a commercial airline?
The challenges, as such, there are no like major challenges, but sometimes you tend to miss on the events, the major events. Like if suppose there's a festival or a family function, and if you don't get leave, then you may miss that event. So ideally, when you apply for a leave, let's say 2 to 3 months in advance, there are chances that you will get that leave. But in case you don't get it, then you tend to miss the event, and that is not a kind of challenge, but that is yeah, that's what I think would be the answer for this question. Yeah.
What are the opportunities for career advancements in aviation industry?
So the career advancement. So once you join an airline, your designation is junior first officer. So once you are a junior first officer for 6 to 8 months, after that you become a first officer, and then a senior first officer after you complete 1,000 hours on the aircraft. And once you give your ATPL papers and everything, you are eligible for a captain upgrade. So once you become captain, then you become type rated instructor. Like yeah, that's the progression. So till captain the progress is very steep. So till captain the progress is very steep, and after that it depends on an individual whether they want to move to a wide body, or they want to work in the management, or they want to become an examiner.
Okay. What are the personal qualities that makes a great pilot?
So a pilot is a very disciplined job. So as long as one is disciplined and one obeys the rule, and one, I would say, knows, has the knowledge about it, he or she will be a very good pilot.
Okay. What do you enjoy most about being a pilot?
Enjoying the most is the flying part. So flying is one of the best thing which I enjoy doing it. And apart from that, the most important part which I enjoy while flying is the landing. So if a pilot does a landing, a smooth landing, or a really good landing, that day he would feel satisfied.
Is any mistakes you make in your career?
So the mistakes which I made was not giving my DGC exams before the flight training. So actually, when I started my pilot training, there was no one to guide me. So I just directly started with my flight training. But that was a major mistake. So if anyone is going for the flight training or starting their flight training, first part is clearing the DGCA papers. So once you have cleared the DGCA papers, then only start your flying. Otherwise, after you get your CPL, after you get your foreign CPL, and then once you are converting your license to Indian CPL, there is a period of 6 months. So within that 6 months, you have to clear that theory papers. Otherwise, the recency would lapse. So that was the mistake which I made. And if anyone is starting their flight training, I would recommend to give your DCA papers before they start the flight training.
Okay. Can you share some of the best questions to ask during a pilot interview?
I mean, everyone wants to know about you. So basically, something about yourself would be a good question. Apart from that, why you want to become a pilot would be definitely a question which everyone would like to know. And it really depends on the interviewer what they want to ask, depending on what's written on your resume. So yeah, so these are the questions which everyone is curious to know about, like why you want to become a pilot, and tell me about yourself. So yeah, this would be the questions.
What are the key factors to consider when choosing a career?
So key factor to consider is first thing is if you have interest in it, that is one thing. Second is if you really enjoy doing that. Third thing is it should pay well, that you can support your home or support your expenses. So these are the three things I would say is important to choose a career.
Can you highlight some of the most innovative and exciting companies in this field?
if you speak about different airlines, if you speak about, so there are many airlines. Okay, so one of the best is, I would say, in India, the largest one is Indigo. Okay, it has around 55% of the market share. Air India is doing really good in the international expansions. They have ordered the E350. Okay, by December, India would have its first Airbus E350. Then, if you speak about Akasa, in the past 8 months, they have inducted around 20 aircraft. So they have a very good progression right now for the yeah, so right now Vakasa is expanding aggressively. So these are the Indian airlines. Now if you speak about the airlines in US, United Airlines, Delta, they are very huge. And then if you speak about Gulf, you have Qatar, Emirates, Etihad, and there are a couple of new airlines coming up, like from Riyadh, and one more from Saudi. So yeah, there are a lot of upcoming international airlines as well.
Questions all complete.
Okay, okay, great, great. Yeah, Robin, it was nice speaking with you. Okay, yeah. So
Okay,
if
thank you.
anyone wants to know anything about pilot training, or if they want any guidance, they can definitely reach out to me on my Instagram, which is, my ID is Winged Engineer, WINGED ENGINEER. Okay. I also give pilot consultation to students who want to become a pilot, and yeah, that's it. And it was nice having conversation with you. Okay, have a great day, Jobin.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
ഒരു കാര്യം കൂടെ പറയാനുണ്ട്. നിങ്ങൾ ഈ വീഡിയോ അവസാനം വരെ എത്തിയെങ്കിൽ ചാനൽ സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യാൻ മറക്കരുത്. ഞങ്ങൾ അടുത്ത് ചെയ്യുന്ന പുതിയ കരിയർ റിലേറ്റഡ് വീഡിയോസ് നിങ്ങളിലേക്ക് എത്താനായിട്ട് ആ ബെല്ലൈക്കൺ കൂടെ ഒന്ന് എനേബിൾ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുക. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ ശരി എന്നാൽ, ബൈ ബൈ.